What if I told you that the single biggest source of arguments, frustration, and disconnection in your relationship has almost nothing to do with money, chores, or who forgot to take out the trash? What if I told you there's a hidden world of emotional tripwires that 9 out of 10 men step on without even knowing they exist? It's like being the quarterback of a team, thinking you're calling the right plays, but your star receiver is running a completely different route, and you just keep throwing interceptions. You can have all the strength, all the ambition, all the desire to win, but if you don't understand the opponent's secret playbook, you're destined to lose the game. And that secret playbook is what we're opening up today. For years, I've watched good men who are leaders in their jobs, pillars in their communities, guys who would walk through fire for the people they love, feel utterly lost in their own homes. They feel like they're constantly being tested, but no one ever gave them the study guide. It's a silent frustration that eats away at you, making you feel like you're failing at the one thing that should matter most. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about fulfilling that core American drive for mastery, for excellence, not just in our careers, but in our character. It's about achieving that profound sense of purpose that comes from being a man who can provide not just material comfort, but a deep, unshakable sense of emotional security for his partner. Today, we are decoding 10 of these hidden dynamics. So, if you're ready to finally understand the game you're playing, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe right now. Because I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll have a new lens through which to see everything. Let's be honest. The landscape of relationships today feels like navigating a minefield in the dark. We're bombarded with conflicting messages. Be strong, but be sensitive. Be a leader, but be a partner. Be ambitious, but be present. The pressure is immense, and the old rule books our fathers and grandfathers followed have been thrown out the window. Statistics show that nearly half of all marriages in the US end in divorce. But the more telling number is the silent majority of couples who stay together but live more like roommates than soulmates. They've lost the spark, the intimacy, the very thing that brought them together in the first place. The problem isn't a lack of love, it's a lack of understanding. We, as men, are conditioned to be problem solvers. We see a leak, we fix it. We see a challenge, we conquer it. It's the spirit that built this country. But when we apply that same fix-it logic to a woman's emotional world, we often make things worse. We try to patch an emotional wound with logic, and it's like trying to stop a flood with a paper towel. We get frustrated, she gets more upset, and the disconnect grows. What's really at stake here is not just avoiding another argument. It's about reclaiming the respect, the admiration, and the passionate connection you crave. It's about building a partnership that feels like a fortress, a team where you both feel seen, heard, and deeply valued. The challenge is that the key to this fortress is hidden in plain sight, disguised as what many men mistakenly label as irrationality or drama. These aren't flaws, they are maps, and it's time we learned how to read them. So let's get into the 10 hidden weaknesses. And I'm putting weaknesses in quotes for a reason. These aren't character flaws. They are deep-seated vulnerabilities and primal needs that are often misinterpreted. Understanding them isn't about exploitation, it's about connection. First, the fear of being unseen. It's not about needing attention every second. It's the deep-seated fear that her efforts, her sacrifices, her silent contributions to the partnership go completely unnoticed. Think about the mental load she carries, remembering birthdays, scheduling appointments, managing the social calendar. To her, these aren't just tasks, they are acts of love. When they go unacknowledged, it's not just frustrating. It feels like her very value in the partnership is being erased. Have you ever been thanked for something small you did that made you feel like $1,000,000? It's that, but on a daily scale. Second, the need for non-sexual touch. Men often see physical touch as a direct ramp to intimacy. But for many women, consistent, non-sexual touch, a hand on the small of her back, a hug that lasts a few seconds longer, playing with her hair while you watch a movie, is what builds the emotional runway for that intimacy to even take off. Without it, sex can feel like a transaction. Think of it like a trust fall. She needs to feel physically and emotionally safe in your arms long before the bedroom door closes. Third, the weakness of verbal processing. We men tend to retreat into our man cave to solve a problem. We think it through, find a solution, and then we emerge. A woman often does the opposite. She needs to talk through the problem to find the solution. Her talking isn't necessarily a complaint, it's her process. When we jump in with, "just do this," we're not helping. We're hijacking her process and communicating that we don't trust her to figure it out. The pro move? Just listen, ask questions. Let her find her own way to the answer. It's like being a good coach. You don't run the plays for your quarterback. You help them see the field clearly. Fourth, the fear of being a burden. This is a big one. She might be struggling, overwhelmed, or anxious, but she will hesitate to tell you because she's terrified of being seen as too much or weighing you down. She wants to be your peace, not your problem. So she'll say, "I'm fine," when she's anything but. The key here is to create an environment where she feels safe to be messy, to not have it all together, without fear that you'll see her as weak. Fifth, the primal need for emotional safety. A man can feel physically safe in a house, but a woman can feel emotionally terrified in that same space. Emotional safety means she can express her feelings, even the ugly ones like jealousy or insecurity, without being judged, dismissed, or ridiculed. When you get defensive or shut down during an argument, you are dismantling that safety brick by brick. What does emotional safety look like in practice? Let me know in the comments what you think. Sixth, the weakness of nostalgia. She remembers the feeling of the early days, the way you looked at her, the effort you put into dates, the long conversations. When she brings up the past, she's not trying to make you feel guilty. She's sending a signal. She's saying, "I miss that feeling. Can we find our way back there?" It's a bid for connection, not a criticism of the present. Seventh, the secret test of initiative. This is subtle, but powerful. She won't ask you to plan a date night. She'll wait to see if you will. Why? Because your initiative communicates that. You are thinking of her, that you desire her, that you are actively invested in the relationship beyond just maintaining the status quo. It's the difference between an employee who does what they're told and a leader who anticipates what needs to be done. Eighth, the fear of not being chosen. Again, even in a committed relationship, she needs to feel like you would choose her all over again, every single day. The world is full of distractions, other people, work, hobbies. When you consistently prioritize those things over quality time with her, it taps into a primal fear that she is no longer the priority, that she is no longer truly chosen. Ninth, the sensitivity to your tone. You can say all the right words, but if your tone is dismissive, condescending, or irritated, that is all she will hear. Your tone of voice communicates your true emotional state far more loudly than your words. It's the background music to your conversation, and if it's tense and angry, the lyrics don't matter. And finally, 10th, the desire for you to lead emotionally. This is not about being domineering. It's about being the calm in the storm. When she is spiraling in anxiety or worry, she doesn't need you to join her in the chaos. She needs you to be the anchor, to listen, validate her feelings. "I understand why you feel that way," and then provide a steady, reassuring presence that says, "No matter what, we've got this." So, after hearing all of this, what do you think that mystery at the beginning was? That hidden playbook? The big reveal is this: these 10 weaknesses are not weaknesses at all. They are a roadmap. They are a direct invitation into her heart. The greatest hidden weakness of a strong, independent woman is a profound, secret desire for a man who is strong enough to handle her softness. A man who sees these vulnerabilities not as problems to be fixed, but as precious parts of her to be protected. The culture tells us that strength is about being impenetrable, like a fortress. But true strength, the kind of strength that inspires lifelong loyalty and passion, is about having the courage to put down your own weapons, your defensiveness, your logic, your need to be right, and simply be present with her. It's about making her feel safe enough to be her full self. Your greatest power as a man in a relationship is not your income, your status, or your physical strength. It is your ability to create and hold a space of deep emotional safety. When you master that, you don't need to play games, you don't need to guess. She will willingly give you the keys to her entire world. This is the ultimate life hack. Stop trying to fix her and start striving to understand her. That is the path from feeling like a frustrated player to becoming a legendary partner. That is the journey from confusion to profound connection. If this conversation sparked something in you, if you're tired of the frustration and ready to build the kind of relationship that fuels every other area of your life, then your journey starts right now. This isn't just a channel, it's a community for men who are committed to becoming the best partners they can be. So, here are your next steps. First, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because in my next video, we're going to break down the 3 words that can instantly de-escalate any argument. You don't want to miss it. Second, I want you to engage with this community. Comment below with the one weakness from this list that was the biggest aha moment for you. I read every single comment because your story and your insights are part of this collective growth.